All right, we're going to be looking at finding percents using proportions. Now remember that if two ratios are proportional, then then we can use a cross product, set it equal to each other, and find the unknown. So, for example, C over 4 is equal to 12 over 20. Take the cross product, so 20 times C is equal to 48. And then to solve, we divide by our coefficient, or the number in front of the variable, to solve for our variable. This will leave us with C is equal to 2.4. Okay, so once again, cross products, numerator of one times the denominator of the other is equal to the numerator of one times the denominator of the other. Set it up, solve for your variable. So we can use this when dealing with percents, because the percent ratio, so the number over, the portion over the number is going to give us our percent. And that's going to be equal to our percent over 100. So remember, 100 is always over, or percents are always over 100 or out of 100. So it looks like this. So if it's 44 of 80, 44 over 80, that's our part over our whole. So right here it states part whole. So 44 is the part, whole is 80. And then that's going to correspond to our percent over our whole percent. Once again, whole percent is 100. So you take the ratios and you take the cross product. So you get 4,400, that'd be 44 times 100, is equal to 80 n. Okay, so we've taken the cross product. Once again, to solve for n, we divide by our coefficient, the number in front of the variable. What we're left with is n is equal to, see, 80 can't go into 44, but it can go into 440. 8 times 5, and that would give us 80 times 5 would be 400, so that'd be 40, then another 400, so it would be 55, and it would be 55%. And what you'll notice is this is the same as just finding the percent by finding the decimal and multiplying by 100. So 44 divided by 80 times 100 is the same thing. But you can use cross product this way. In cross product, we'll show later how using cross product is handier when you're trying to find maybe a percent or a whole number. It makes it a little bit smoother. But okay, so you've got percent of 92 is 23. Or sorry, what percent of 92 is 23? So we take our part, that's 23, and our whole is 92. So that's going to equal our percent over 100. Because once again, to be a whole percent, it's always 100. So we can take our cross product, set them equal to each other. So this would be 2300 is equal to 92 x, and then once again, to solve for x, we divide by the coefficient, which is the number in front of the variable. So what you have there, then it's 2300 divided by 92, and that's going to equal x, which equals 25%. You could have also done 23 divided by 92, which was going to give us 0.25, and then we multiply that by 100% or by 100 to get 25%. Okay, so now what is 36% of 125? Okay, so we don't know the part. So that's now our unknown. But we know it's out of 125. But we know that it's 36%. and percents are always out of 100. So once again, now we can use cross product here to solve. So, but note that my part is my unknown, my part of my whole. I know my percent, I know total of a percent, so I've set that ratio up and I've set the two equal to each other. So now, I take the cross product and solve for x. So we've got 125 times 36 is going to equal 4,500. And then 100 times x is just going to be 100x. Once again, to solve, we divide by 100, or which is the coefficient. And then remember, dividing by 100 is the same as moving the decimal over to the left. And so we find that x is equal to 45. Okay, so we use cross product once again, setting it up part over whole is equal to part over whole for our percents. Okay, and now this is going to give us just a quick reference. So depending on what you're finding. So if you're finding a part, your variable is going to be over your whole number. So the whole amount is 25. We're finding out what 20% is, so our part is above 25. Okay, finding a percent. So now our percent is what we're trying to find, and that's going to be over our 100, but we know our part and we know our whole. Okay, and then the last one, the last one that we'll use is going to be our 20% of what number is 5, so that now we know our part, we know our percent, but we do not know our whole. So that's going to be where we put our variable, right here in. So just kind of get familiar with that terminology and to determine what it's looking for. So first one, it gives you the percent, it gives you the whole. So we're looking for the part. The next one, 5 is what percent of 25. So now we're finding the percent. So that's going to be above the 100. And then 20% of what number is 5. So now we're finding the whole number and we're given the part. So these are just quick references on how to set the problems up depending on what we're looking for. Okay, so we've got 60 is 24% of what number? So we can set it up. We know that 60 is 24%, so 60 is the part. We're trying to find our whole. So n goes below. That is equal to our percent, which is 24 over 100. So we've taken the cross product here. We get 6,000 is equal to 24n. Then we divide by our coefficient 24, and we find that 60 is 24% of 250. Oops. $250. Okay. Next one, 40% of what number is 96. So once again here, we are trying to find the whole number because it tells 40% of what number is 96. So we know that the part is 96. We know that the percent is 40. And we need to find our whole number. So you take the cross products. 96 times 100 is going to give us 9,600. And then 40n. And then you divide both sides by 40 to solve for n. And that in there you will get 240. So n equals 240. So if you take 96 and divide it by 240, you should get 0.4. And you can double check that on a calculator. All right, and that is using cross products to solve percents. And so once again, there's three different ways of using percents in what you're solving for. So you're solving for the part, you're solving for the percent, or you could be solving for the whole number. And once again, you're going to use one of these three methods here.